Welcome back to Tattoo Shop Talk. This is how we do it.
Carlos talking, me talking, you asking questions and suggesting subjects. And this one is suggested by this person right here. And it's about, tell us more about how to plan out full sleeves, full legs, back pieces, front pieces, and all that stuff. And we have expert on the subject, Carlos, here in certain styles that you can check on his Instagram, links below.
It's gonna be pretty hard to tell my way because I know there's many ways and my way is not the only way.
I think let's start with planning out sleeve. I'm not an expert on the subject, and as you can tell by my sleeves, not much planning went into.
Yeah, then this is like a puzzling sleeve. You basically take flash tattoos or smaller designs and place it in spots that it looks cool and nice with the other ones that's already
and that's basically what mostly I do here, because I have a lot of customers who like this cool patchwork type of a thing where you basically load a paintball gun with the designs and just where it fits. So you put maybe bigger pieces and fit smaller ones that fit in there. But if I would have to plan the whole thing, we never had planned completely. We've done some sleeves. I don't think I've finished one, but there's been a bunch with those patchworks. But how we usually approach when people are like, I want a sleeve, but I don't know exactly what I want. I say, let's figure out, let's have top 5 objects, let's choose 2 or 3 out of them and start with them. Let's find something for here, let's find something for here, and sort of prioritize. Like, these are the main ones, and then we have 2-3 options here, see what fits, and we plan as we go.
Yeah, I usually also, like, if a customer has not enough ideas, I tell him, let's start just from one area and then slowly build up. You have to always remember with the placement, when you put something, think about next tattoo you're gonna make on that person, because sometimes that tattoo you place it wrong can block the area for the next one that's gonna look good there. So always make sure that it's placed properly. That's I think the easiest way of planning the sleeve for tattooer, because you think only of that one piece that's gonna be in that.
And even with all that patchwork stuff, we also like when there's design and they're like, I want it here. If it's a small one, let's put it not on a main frame. Let's say, like, if you imagine picture frame, you don't want to put some random small stuff in the middle. We're like, let's use that for the side areas, so it doesn't, if you would have, I don't know, a face and there's a small stuff in the middle, if it's in the corner you can work around it. Obviously planning full sleeve, I think it's more common with all the realistic stuff where they're like, but they would still take a few main objects, the bits in between.
You kind of figure out during the years the almost like a strategy of building up the sleeve. It's like you find the way of kind of compositioning where it looks the best, Sometimes there can be 4 designs, big ones, sometimes there can be smaller ones. It's usually about thinking what's gonna come next when you make that one piece there.
If it's like in traditional, it's more like the bits where they connect, you put some clouds, or in that more empty spaced ones you put those small things. Then in realistic there comes those empty negative spaces where it's just some thing going on. And obviously think about the flow, which way the tattoos are looking. You don't want to put them too much looking weird directions, and I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted this subject to put up, because sometimes people message me and they're like, oh my god, my tattooist made this thing other way around, and like when you look at it, it looks good. It's actually not other way around by the book, but just something clicked for the person, and there was like a tattoo looking certain direction, but there was a lot of empty space. So I said, like, even if it bugs you, you can still talk to tattooist, and there's this empty space where you can make the whole flow, make it other way around. So I think that shouldn't be
big sleeves, entire sleeve. These days I think people make pictures with the whatever. I make picture of my phone from one side, from the other side, and then when I draw, I usually draw from the outside, and then I kind of imagine where that object will go and bend. But I think you need like some experience to understand the movement of the arm, and it's gonna be easier. Or you have to be a really good artist.
Now there's that 3D thing that somebody mentioned on our that test stream, but that's, I don't know nothing about it.
Also, for me, I don't think I will never need that because it's already like I understood the way that works on the flat paper. Just make a picture of outside. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to imagine that it will bend, so you have to keep in mind that if it's looking that way and you bend it too much, it can end up looking backwards. That's something to keep in mind.
And for me, when I do sleeves, I make a main object, what's gonna be in the middle, and then I freehand the background. Usually that's the best way because it's hard to put the stencil. Even if you put the stencil, you have to many times to redo it with freehanding. That's a good option to learn when you do sleeves. I think it's easier for you to make a design like that than just sit 2 nights thinking with entire backgrounds. Of course, you have to have been prepared for background as well. Make like some sketch that
have a rough plan.
Yeah, like a plan.
Chests and fronts, I have no
and backs. I think it's.
I have no experiences with full front with chest, but I would imagine like it has to be either symmetrical or completely not symmetrical. Like it's either completely off.
Yeah.
But I don't like super symmetrical designs because I think it's just cheating when you made one side and flipped it to another. So I try to, like if I would put 2 flowers, it would be, let's say 2 roses, but it wouldn't be the same rose just flipped. It would be at least a little bit different. If there would be, I don't know, a banner going through it, it wouldn't be just like, you know, bra looking symmetrical thing. It would be still with some flow because it's just me. Like first of all, it's super hard to do crazy symmetrical, and then it feels just like a cheating.
Yeah, it has to be really good made design to make it symmetrical look cool. These days you can also do these symmetrical things by just drawing it one side and the other side just drives by itself.
Or
sometimes
just copy it, like
or copy it. No, I mean like you have to copy, but I always thought that if you make a symmetrical stuff, first draw how you see it without copying the side, and then when you see entirely made design like that, then copy one side and it's gonna be more precise. But I mean, again, like you said, this is like my way of seeing things.
I'm thinking of traditional designs, traditional like old school or Japanese. Like if you put, I don't know, a Hanya mask in the middle and it's symmetrical, it's fine. But if you put all the ropes around it completely symmetrical, it's like, come on. Also, like if you put like an eagle, like, or you put it. I think this
like
is better than this because
this is like Michael Jackson fucking zombie thing.
But don't you think that this just straight looking at you looks a bit like...
No, true. For me, I never been fan of symmetrical,
like, you know, one's going one way and...
But it always, when you prepare stuff and when you plan out things, you have to kind of figure out how to do it that you use less time on it. So you spend too much energy and too much time. And one good option is to make the design smaller. Don't make it straight away like this big piece that you're gonna make it. Make it smaller design, let's say like another flash tattoo, if it's symmetrical, whatever. And then when it's ready and it's clean and it's simple, then you size it up on the computer as much as you want. And usually it's even better for design because you don't waste time with some details that's not even needed there.
Yeah, I've noticed that with like scales that you can just do all those little scales and it's just too much, and sometimes like instead of 10 rows of this, 5 is just plenty.
Yeah, less is more, like everyone talks about. When it comes to the big pieces like back piece, front piece, sometimes even sleeves, I'm making everything smaller than I will actually do. And actually with the computer you can change the shape a little bit, size it up for the sleeve or whatever, and make it fit. Make a small design, I think that's a win-win situation for always. Always it's win-win.
I never do that and it always backfires and I'm like, why I did this? Plus, like I already spent too much time on design and then you have to skip half of details and redo it.
Go small, make it big.
And then go home.
and then go home. It's nothing bad about planning your stuff out so it takes less time. It just has to be precise.
I think legs are pretty much your bottom arms, so same rules applies.
But there is some stuff about positioning. I know some people sometimes can't figure out which direction the front, for example, if there is a face, which direction it has to go, inside or outside?
It should always look to inside towards your heart.
What about back?
It's also towards your heart. I've seen it on Ink Master, so I'll keep on repeating it.
Depends of the design, and it depends what's happening around it. If, for example, there is a face looking inside, and there is a face looking inside, that's like...
They
kissing. Maybe they don't want to kiss. And also... actually, I think legs are hard to plan out for like leg sleeves because you don't do them that often, for example, like me.
And I think you have to look at the general flow, not just the flow of one object. Like if you
general flow, yeah. I usually place on the back on the back of the leg. I place objects looking outside, towards outside.
For me, it sort of flows this way.
Yeah. But you don't want to also, to the central object, you don't want it disappear. And I think when you place it here inside, it disappears more. Here, it's like with this part. This is going outside, this is going inside, you know?
When planning whatever places, don't get stuck on like sort of body parts, like, you know, like I want it here, then it only have to be here. I think in my opinion they look even better when you oversize them. So if the piece here, if it's a bigger piece, it goes over a joint. So it's like there and it's bigger, it just looks more impressive.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like framed and stiff and stuck on there. Same.
Like when you do a shoulder, do it till here, leave the space for the elbow, then add the elbow that's going there. And this will always look better than like, but that's opinion.
Or if it's this, I think it would be better that it would go a bit over. The same with
but depends what object is there.
Yeah, same with the backs. That's like, I think it's when it cuts to your waistline, just like this is my back. I think it's a bit like. But if you extend it just 2 centimeters down, kind of where the butt starts, it already looks that it's not put in that place, but it is that place. It is that whole thing. So I think that's.
But okay, then I can tell that like put a small snake on the ribs will look shittier than when you put entirely for all your side a snake, because that will always look better and complement your body more. But what if the person wants it here? You know, then you can.
You leave a wiggle room.
Yeah, then you can.
Leave a wiggle room. Yeah, if you get the snake from here to here, you also spend less time worrying and planning about things. It's like, what will be next thing? It will be still the snake. Maybe a flower. Maybe, but snake.
Bigger you go, better it will look if it's made properly. Always. It's not about making money, it's about how good it's gonna look.
And I think it's also easier to tattoo, because when you have those bigger lines,
especially on these parts, yeah, for sure. If you make a snake like this, just recently I told this customer I don't want to make a flash tattoo on the stomach because it was too small and tiny for making 2 faces in that one small area. I mean, I could do it, but it's never gonna look as good as on the hand. Ribs, go big. Go big.
I've done plenty of those small snakes and whatnot, and it's like
scripts.
You're just zooming in and.
What about scripts? It's not meant for tattoo on the ribs. I think I've seen how they heal after years. It's better ways to make tattoo.
I know many script names now. Darlstone, Edwardian, Old English now.
Because
cool.
of this?
Yeah. Tangerine. Learned Tangerine today. I can
pretty good.
I think the planning, if you have a plan, then you just place those objects flowy. But the biggest problem on planning out those things is where you're like, I want a sleeve and I don't know what, or I want a back piece and I don't know what. So then it would be, that pro tip would be, focus on the main objects and then you'll figure out.
Okay, I think the best way is just to take a picture of that part of the body, write it down all the customer wants, of course, then plan out what's gonna be, all composition, whatever.
But I would say write down what customer wants, but then prioritize top 3.
But it matters of composition. Yeah, like you'd see that there's too much maybe.
You know, if customer says the clock is the most important, you're like, no, maybe you don't want to have a huge clock. You want to have something and place the clock around.
Yeah, like I want watch on my elbow. No, 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 no. You don't need this because the watch will not look roundy.
If you want a rose on your butt, it will look nice and will fill the space. You can have a giant rose on your butt. Is it the best decision? That's up to you, but it will fit the place. If you will be like, I wanna...
On butt there can go everything.
Quick ad now. It's holiday season and that means that there are stockings to be stuffed and elves to be cuffed. Well, today's sponsor Manscaped have gone global to make sure that you score under the Christmas tree and the mistletoe. Manscaped is the leader of men's below-waist grooming and have served more than 4 million men worldwide. Get 20% off and free shipping at Manscaped using code TATTOOTALK. Ho ho ho, gents, naughty or nice, this is the season to trim. Manscaped's best-selling product Performance Package 4.0, which is on the top of every man's wishlist this year. Inside you'll find a lawnmower body trimmer, the best trimmer on the market for your body, and weed whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer. Let's not forget the famous liquid formulations, the crop preserver and crop reviewer, to maximize your body hygiene and routine. Get Performance Package now and get free gifts, Manscaped boxers and shed travel bag. Dads can't stop talking about it, teens secretly buy it, and women will love you for it. Now top picks for Manscaped stocking stuffers. Manscaped Signature Cologne, Shares 2.0 Luxury 4-piece nail kit, crop mops, body wipes, crop reviewer, grown toner and refresher. Small enough to fit in stockings, big enough to change man's life. These formulations are vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free and paraben-free, so you know the products are legit. Make sure you hurry to their site to make sure that gifts show up before holiday season, and while you're at it, get 20% off and free shipping at Manscaped using code TATTOOTALK. Whether it's your partner, dad, brother or a friend, get them something that they will actually use and for sure will have a laugh. Go to Manscaped, get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using code TATTOOTALK. And remember, groom like Santa is watching with Manscaped.
I wanna...
On butt there can go everything.
Thinking what...
Portraits are not the best thing on the butt.
Just for the...
Unless it's a dog or a cat.
Ethic reasons, you're like, why would you have your grandma on your butt?
I think it's also hard to make a portrait on a butt. Realistic guys would agree with me. Do you guys agree with me? Please tell me what you think.
Or to get a face, like it don't have to be portrait of somebody, but like a statue and all that thing, what's popular now. Don't put them on bendy places where, like, you know, if the eyes would be here and every time you move your thing it would distort. Like, you know, this lady is chewing the tomato and it's fine, but if that would be a bit more down and
Just
then,
blinking.
yeah, and well, maybe
Pro planning, sometimes it's hard to just place some things that does not look crooked. Yeah, but you have, like, I guess you have to just always be, you have to always be sure that that thing really does look good on that area. And don't be lazy on changing it if it feels wrong.
And also think how it looks when you're standing relaxed, because often people, when they imagine this thing, they are like, I will look at it like this, or like, you know, here will be some crazy action happening. In realistic, I see they put the eyes of animal, or the, like I've seen the snowboard goggles and all that, so it's like, I'm this, but then rest of it doesn't make sense, because you have these two eyes here, and then there's face this way, and like it's just looks right.
But these are fun tattoos. There's like, hey, look at this joke, but it happens only. It's gonna get boring.
Yeah. Look, I made this joke tattoo, and now I live with it for the rest of my life.
But whatever. I mean.
Whatever makes you
sleep
at
you
night.
Can sometimes get a face tattoo by a really good artist, and maybe you're gonna get bored at some point.
Yeah, and I shouldn't be the one talking about seriousness of tattoos, so that's that. And I'm happy with my sleeve, and it's completely random. It's different styles, different artists, different everything.
Yeah, from hand poke to...
From professional hand poke to unprofessional hand poke to multiple styles and layers. So, like I said, it's just a tattoo. So, don't worry about it too much. I don't think you would get out of this episode much as
as
customer, but maybe some little bits caught your mind. If you are a tattooist, then let us know how you plan your big pieces. And like always, press likes, leave comments, check the links, support our sponsors. See you in a future episode. Thank you for watching and watch this video here floating, and subscribe to that channel and channel here. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Yes.